One of the most expensive and high-profile projects in U.S. aviation, the fifth-generation stealth fighter, the F-22, is still in service, but it has worthy competitors both at native land and abroad. In this episode, we talk about how much the Raptor cost the U.S. Air Force, what it can do, and what the future holds. This is Military News. Let's go! In 1986, a program was launched to develop a new generation of fighter aircraft. Two companies took part in it. Lockheed Martin, which already had experience in creating the F-117A Nighthawk, and no less famous, Northrop. 4 years later, the participants presented their prototypes, YF-22 and YF-23. The first one, designed with the help of a supercomputer, Cray, turned out to be more maneuverable, had a larger payload, due to which it became the winner of the program. However, the plane went into production only in 2001 as a replacement for the F-15C Eagle. The key feature of the plane is its low radar visibility. The metal surfaces of the aircraft are coated with radar-absorbing materials and appropriate paint. The glider is almost 25% composite, and most parts, such as the exhaust cones, engine nozzles, and sloped tail fins, are designed with geometric low-visibility technology. Armament K3 thermoplastic carbon plastics were also used in the design, which retains their properties under allowable damage or heat. The mass of the aircraft was reduced due to the use of titanium, 41% of the weight of the glider, and is about 20 tons. It's 19 meters long and has a wingspan of 13.5 meters. The transparent part of the cockpit is made of polycarbonate and provides the pilot an excellent view. Flight information is displayed on the indicator on the windshield and 6 multifunctional color displays. The ICP, Integrated Core Processor installed in the cockpit, is responsible for the autopilot route and communication parameters. The communication complex consists of a radar identification system, friend or foe, as well as secure and noise immunity channels, IFDL, and Link 16 JTIDS. The first transmission works in both directions, while Link 16 is configured only to receive data due to the high probability of interception. Of the unrealized ideas were slow and unreliable voice control and multifunction Advanced Data Link (MADL) interface, similar to that installed on the F-35, but unaffordable for the U.S. military. The F-22 is designed according to the first look, first kill principle. That's why it has powerful aviation equipment that includes AN/ALR-94 radiation detector consisting of 32 sensors located all around the fuselage. It's capable of picking up enemy radar, radar station emissions, calculating its coordinates, type of craft, and if there are several, prioritizing them depending on the threat posed. The AN/AAR-56 infrared and ultraviolet missile launch sensors. The way they work is that the stream of the missile leaves a trace in the infrared image, which is detected by the device. The sensors determine the location of the missile launches, and based on this data, the computer gives the best maneuver of care in graphical form. And of course, the radar station AN/APG-77V1 with an active phased array. The main difference from the passive phased array is the absence of a single transmitter. The signal is formed from 2,000 active microtransmitters, which make it possible to generate powerful radiation. In addition, the station operates in pseudo-random frequency change mode, the essence of which is to repeatedly change the frequency randomly so that the signal is more difficult to fix. The detection range of a large aerial target with this radar is 270 to 300 kilometers, cruise missile 150 kilometers, and ground targets up to 70 kilometers. The number of escorted targets increased to 100 and simultaneously fired up to 20. In addition, it's now possible to transmit commands to the released missile using a beam. Another advantage of this radar is its service life, which is even longer than that of a modern AN/APG-81 installed on the Lightning II. The F-22's propulsion system is 2 F-119 PW100 turbojet engines with flat jet nozzles for infrared reduction. These engines have a torque of about 11,000 kgf and allow the aircraft to fly at a supersonic speed of Mach 1.7 without applying an afterburner, which is an important tactical advantage. The engine management system is electronic. The controller regulates the fuel supply depending on the flight conditions. As for fuel reserves, it'll be enough to fly 1,400 kilometers, and this is a relatively poor performance because the range of the F-15 is about 2,000 kilometers. This problem can be solved by suspended tanks, with which the range increases to 2,500 kilometers. However, it's impractical to use them on combat sorties, as they'll immediately give the aircraft to the enemy radar. The aircraft can also refuel in the air, but even here there are some difficulties. The armament of the Raptor can be envied. The first thing worth looking at is the American classic, the M61A2 Vulcan 6-shot 20mm cannon located at the root of the right wing. It has 420 rounds and can fire up to 4,000 rounds per minute. Second, there are 3 internal compartments for weapons, namely for the air-to-air missile AIM-9M Sidewinder with a thermal seeker and a range of up to 18 kilometers. The AIM-120 AMRAAM radar-guided missile with a range of up to 120 kilometers at Mach 4, GBU-39B freefall bombs. These bombs were developed using stealth technology. Their warhead is capable of penetrating 90 centimeters of reinforced concrete or a mobile target at a range of 110 kilometers. As well as corrective GBU-32 JDAM bombs, resistant to any weather conditions due to GPS signal. The fighter is capable of launching all these projectiles from internal compartments at supersonic speeds. Plans for the production of the Raptor were initially grandiose. The U.S. Air Force planned to purchase 750 fighters of the new model from the manufacturing company. However, because of the high price, namely $146 million, the program was reduced to 187 units. By the way, the development program itself cost a decent sum, about $60 billion. The last F-22 was delivered to the troops in 2012. The baptism of fire occurred in Syria in January 2014. Then it carried out a couple of spot strikes on Islamist bases in Raqqa. As of June 2015, the number of missions completed exceeded 120, and the aircraft itself was part of every U.S. strike team in Syria. Until recently, the delivery of this model abroad was prohibited by law due to fears that U.S. developments could fall into the hands of the Russian military. But last year, the situation has changed, and Israel became the owner of 50 F-22s. As for the future of our hero, it remains unclear. The plane has been criticized many times for the too high maintenance cost of about $40,000 per hour of flight, most of which goes for the replacement of radio absorption materials, the wear and tear of which causes sometimes even heavy precipitation. In defense of the fighter, it's worth adding that the labor intensity of the unit maintenance is low, 30 man-hours per hour of flight. For comparison, the F-15 has 35 man-hours. The U.S. Air Force leadership said that by 2030, the Raptor will not have enough ammunition and combat range. In addition, it has worthy competitors such as the compatriot F-35 or Russian Su-57. So far, the exact dates of F-22 withdrawal from combat duty are not known, and most likely they will depend on how quickly the 6th-generation fighter will be put into service. To this day, the machine remains one of the most popular in the world. It can be found in many Hollywood movies such as The Fall of Olympus, The Hulk, and Transformers. You can feel like a pilot of such a machine in the game's Command and Conquer Generals, as well as Ace Combat Assault Horizon. And what's your impression of this model? Do you think such a huge expenditure on a fighter aircraft that's more talked about than used in action is worth it? Be sure to share your opinions in the comments, like the video, and tell us what else you'd like to know about. Who hasn't subscribed to my channel? Don't forget to do so now. See you later.